What's up, guys? This is Marcia here with another episode of Lady Strong Fitcast. I have today member of the month, June member of the month, Lindsay Karlin. Lindsay, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I want to acknowledge how long you've been a part of this community. It's been 3 years and it went by really fast. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're almost, I would consider you like an OG of the community. So for those of you that don't know Lindsay, I'll let her kind of tell her story. But before I begin, again, she's been with us for 3 years. She normally works out at the 5 a.m. class about 5 days per week. So I'm really excited for you to share your story.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
So Lindsay, tell us a little bit. I know who you are, but for people that don't, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lindsay Karlin. I've been with LSF for 3 years. I work in IT as an analyst for the past 13 years. Since COVID, I've been working from home and will be permanently. I joined Lady Strong Fitness because I've gone to other gyms, tried to work out on my own, nothing really worked, and plus I wasn't really motivated to do anything on my own. I did go through personal training with some of the gyms, but that really didn't work either. I did have a massive stroke before I was born. So I do have severe paralysis on my right side. When I did personal training, they didn't know about that. And because of that, they would not challenge me to lift heavier weights. So I really wasn't gaining anything during the personal training sessions at those gyms. So I was on Facebook and I saw an ad for a 6-week challenge. So I came in, signed up for that. I did one free class, but then I went through the challenge, really enjoyed the workouts. And once the challenge was over, I officially became a member.
I like that. That story's inspiring. So I want to rewind a little bit. I want you to tell a little bit more about your story when you were born. How did that happen? What came about throughout that duration?
So before I was born, I had a massive stroke. Because of the stroke, I also was diagnosed with epilepsy. I had epilepsy all my life. It's strictly controlled by medications for the past 32 years. Because of it, I am really restricted to when I could work out. So I originally started in a 5:15 p.m. class. Unfortunately, during those workouts, I was finding I was having some issues with epilepsy where a couple of the symptoms, tingling and numbness would occur. And if I stopped the exercise during the workout while time was still going, the symptoms would go away, but it was just a repeat. It will start up again and again. So that's how I went to the 5 a.m. class, because I could do the same workout in the 5 a.m. class and not have it be an issue.
Yeah. You know, I really find your story inspiring, and here's why. Because a lot of people that have any sort of, I want to call them like maybe a weakness or a disadvantage within their physical elements, they tend to use that as an excuse to not do things, and they find themselves incapable. It's almost like they're mentally putting themselves in a crutch. And for you, I don't see that at all. You use your disadvantages to your advantage. And every time you come inside that studio to work out, you're always picking up the heavier weights. You're always, it's very rare, honestly, that I ever see you doing any modifications unless you really have to. So kudos to you. Like, you don't use your disadvantages as a crutch. Like I said, you use it as an advantage. So let's talk about your mentality. How do you keep such a strong mentality?
I just stay consistent. Coming in 5 days a week to work out. I don't make any excuses. So, for example, I was out late last night because I also run. I am a marathon runner. And I belong to a running club. I actually serve on the board of directors with them. So I had an event last night with them, and I was out late last night. Probably didn't go to bed until 10. I'm up 2, 3 a.m. Because that's when I take my epilepsy medications to make sure that they start working before the workout. And I didn't make any excuse for not coming in. I only got 4 hours of sleep, but I came in and worked out.
That's insane. Is it what keeps you motivated? I guess. Let me ask you that.
Just the community itself. The coaches do a great job of motivating you during the workout. Also, the members who are participating in workouts sort of motivate you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, is it the left side or the right side that you have the I would say disadvantages? Is it the left side or the right?
Right.
It is the right side. So is it from the shoulder down, or how far does it go? Like, explain, like, because I want people to understand like what it is that you go through, and I want you to paint a picture for them, because I want them to see like, if you could do it, why can't they? So explain like your abilities and inabilities.
So it's all along my right side of paralysis. In fact, on May 2nd, I just got a dental drill removed from my mouth that's been there for 25, 26 years that no one bothered to recommend removing, because I just started to feel a little pain, not a lot. So, yeah, I can't eat on my right side. I have to chew all the food on my left side. Even if I try to eat on my right side, it just moves over to the left. When I first started LSF, I could not do anything with my right hand because there was not enough feeling or coordination in it. However, ever since I started working out at LSF, I gained back enough strength in my right arm to be able to do some everyday stuff like eating, putting the dishes in the dishwasher, putting them away, brush my teeth.
I like that. You know why? Because a lot of people, if not majority, would take advantage of the simple things. Like you said, brushing, as simple as brushing your teeth, right? I can't imagine, honestly, because are you left or right-handed?
Left.
Right. So, so you're kind of at an advantage, but let's just say like I'm right-handed and I can't necessarily brush my teeth with my right hand. You know what I mean? And for you to be able to come inside our studio, to be able to gain strength and now be able to utilize either your left or right, that's inspiring in itself. That's a huge accomplishment. So let's talk about how much strength have you gained now? Are you able to, would you say you have a muscle balance now, or is it still slightly off? Or like, are you able to like use 20 pounds or 15 pounds in each hand? Like, how much have you gained as far as strength since joining 3 years ago?
Might be a 5-pound difference. It depends on the exercises. A lot of times it is even. I could lift 20 pounds in each hand. But in reality, the left hand is stronger than the right. Sure. I mean, I really don't want to lift heavier in one side and not the other.
Right.
If I had to say, I could probably lift 25, 30 pounds in my left, but I don't, because I don't want to be uneven.
I like that. So since joining 3 years ago, you've taken advantage of, you've also done some personal training with myself in the past. You do the group classes, like you said, you're part of the running club. So you're extremely active overall. I would like to ask you, for someone that's either on the fence about joining because of their maybe disabilities or disadvantages that they do have, and whatever it is, people come in like, oh, I have injuries or my back or my knee, or what advice do you have for people like that are maybe on the fence about joining?
Just give it a try. It doesn't hurt. I mean, there's a lot of modifications that you could use in class if need be, but I always try to do the exercise first without the modifications. If I have to, I'll modify.
And what would your advice be for people that are already a part of the community, but they're still at a disadvantage by, just fear alone of just, afraid to get injured or re-injured themselves? Like, what would be your advice for someone that's already a part of the community, but a fear of making matters worse? What would your advice be for that?
Just take it slowly, one step at a time. I mean, it takes time to improve things. So one example is I ran a half marathon, actually my first half marathon 3 years ago in Highland Park, North Shore Classic. And the final time was 2 hours and 21 minutes. This past weekend, I went back, ran it again, and finished in less time in 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw that. That's huge.
So it takes time.
Yeah. And what was the duration between that from the first time you did it and the second time?
3 years.
Yeah. So people, ladies, are you listening right now? Like, it didn't happen overnight for Lindsay. Like she said, it takes time. And we live in the world today, like everything's instant gratification. But let's just say if someone wants to lose weight, them putting on that weight didn't happen overnight, right? So you can't expect to lose that weight overnight. So be patient, trust the process. Again, for as long as Lindsay's been a part of this community for 3 years, and look at the leaps and bounds that you've made thus far. That's super, super inspiring. So Lindsay, I really appreciate you coming on here today. Is there anything that I failed to mention that you would like to maybe say at all? Drop the mic. This is your shot right here.
Don't let your medical problems, disability prevent you from trying something. For example, on May 19th, I was diagnosed with exercise-induced asthma. So when I run, I need to use the inhaler before I do my run, and sometimes during my run, so I can breathe. I won't necessarily use it in the studio unless I absolutely have to, because it's more of an issue with cardio than strength or body weight. And if there's a mixer with cardio with strength and body weight, it's not an issue.
I did not know that. That's something else I didn't know. So that's another wrench that was like thrown in there, like asthma on top of epilepsy, on top of, having a stroke. And it's like, and you're still trucking at it. I mean, man, I feel like, is there something else you're not telling me that we need to know about? Because talk about no excuses. Seriously. Like, I hope that this message, you and I talking will inspire at least one person. And if it does, that means you've done your job and so have I. That's the whole objective, is being able to share those success stories amongst the people inside and outside our community, just to give them hope. Like, it doesn't matter your circumstances or where you came from or how you started. It's all about how you finish. And it's all about keep going and not giving up. And that's your true testament to that, which is why we nominated you. I should say the coaches nominated you for Member of the Month. So that was well-deserved, my friend. As always, it's a pleasure. And I say this a lot with the women, having you inside the studio. I know the 5 a.m. class enjoys having you there. But again, ladies, if you're tuning in, thank you so much. joining us on this episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. Have a blessed day, and thank you, Lindsay, for coming on here. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.